Hello. Welcome. It's time for Magicians and Wizards. This song being Mary the Magician from Zune Music CD Ghostly Field Club. But also, it's time for the magical DPS quests. Took you a bit for the eyes to process the preview image and you thought Sucro was looking at a magic glowing pineapple? She's not, but there is a part of a trailer for the next expansion of this game that was revealed today where Urianger looks at a pineapple. I haven't seen most of the trailer. I've seen still images of like I've seen like 4 still images of it, of things that aren't spoilers, like Urianger looking at a pineapple. So that's something. I keep forgetting the name of the expansion. Dawn something. Dawn Trail. Dawn Trail. So the Final Fantasy XIV Dawn Trail is in summer 2024. Featuring 2 new classes, one of which is melee DPS, and the other of which is magical range DPS, so there's not a physical ranged one. So I was wrong on that account with my guessing. But it does make sense because of all the armor sets that exist, there is one armor set that is not equipped by anybody but Ninja right now, which is of scouting. Or one armor class, so... Anyway, for the purposes of magical DPS, Sucro is a summoner. Summoner is a class that summons. I don't think I've played as a summoner on stream very often. Well, we got a funny carbuncle. And we've got a comfy looking, like, cardigan. And we need to talk to this person, Serig. I know nothing about this questline, though we have seen Serig in the Gauntlet of Heroes, or whatever, I suppose. So that's something. Hollow Pursuits. Serig is eyeing you inquisitively. I guess there's nothing to do but jump right in. Also, thank you for petting Calico twice. Or wait, no, just once. I pet Calico once, earlier, as a test. Let me guess, you're standing in front of Serig, bounty hunter non-pare, because you have a mind to aid me in felling the dread Phronesis. Do I have the right of it, or do I have the right of it? Yeah, there was some Arcanist, which upgrades into Scholar and Summoner. Summoner is very different from what it was back when I was playing as a Scholar, though. But... So you've seen a little bit of what old Summoner was kind of like when we were doing the part of that class before it was a Scholar, I think. Phronesis? Or you have the right of it? Yeah, that sounds about right. Willing to throw caution to the wind and strike off to do battle with a nigh indomitable foe, eh? Well, I've got the feeling the 2 of us will get along just fine. Allow me to elaborate. Phronesis isn't just your run-of-the-mill stray sin-eater. He's one of the nastiest the realm has seen, formed from the remains of one of those gods-damned warriors of light. Serig didn't get the memo yet. We're back in time a bit. It's fine. There are 4 of them, all told, crawled up from the bowels of the deepest hell after being buried for nigh on a century. If the tales are true, people have come to call them the cardinal virtues. Yeah, that would have been pretty good. Before he was transformed into a sin-eater, Phronesis was none other than Archmagus Nielbert, whose baleful magics were feared the realm over. Though it's only been a few short years since he first showed up in Amarang, he's already preyed on far too many innocents with his foul sorcery. Not keen on seeing their trade routes disrupted, the local merchants have placed a healthy bounty on his head. course, I'd like nothing more than to fell the fiend single-handed and claim the entire bounty for myself. Unfortunately, circumstances have dictated that I recruit a companion. That's where you come in. Smile. Provided that you can prove to me you possess the rather, specialized set of skills that I require, I promise I'll make it worth your while. Not a bad offer, wouldn't you say? If you fancy yourself up to the task, come find me in Amarang. I mean to set off for there shortly. Okay. I hope the specialized skills involve making stuff explode, because that's basically what I'm able to do at the moment. That's probably basically all we need, right? Probably. Okay, here I go. Oh right, I never got the Savage version of Eden. I guess I might want to unlock that and then never try it at some point. So yeah, I guess all the role quests probably take place before the end of Shadowbringers, like, in terms of timeline. Like, before the end of 5.0. So maybe I should have done all of these earlier if we're trying to be chronological about things. But I wasn't, I guess, so I don't know. Just cast your mind back in time for a bit and imagine a different world where Sucro had a cardigan and a different haircut during this portion of the game. So you came. It's good to see someone who isn't all talk. As fortune would have it, another Sin Eater, a far less imposing specimen than Phronesis, of course, has been sighted just to the west of here. Prove to me you have the skill to back up your words and we'll talk further. I didn't say that many words to back up, so it should be pretty easy to back them up because there aren't that many of them. That's true also. I think this person, yeah, this person's a red mage doing the same line of quests. Anyway, I'm gonna summon Bahamut. Goodbye. Summoner! Well, sort of a Bahamut. A bit of a Bahamut. Not exactly Bahamut. It's fine though. Anyway. Good show, friend. I wasn't sure what to expect with you, but seeing you summon Bahamut and blow something up with a laser blast immediately has left me with little doubt. Or seeing you in battle has left me with little doubt. Seems I found myself a formidable ally. And so I'll extend the offer in earnest. Help me hunt down Phronesis and we'll split the bounty down the middle. Well, what do you say? That's the spirit. Now there's more you should know before we proceed. Come with me to Mord Souk, my base of operations, and I'll fill you in on the details. Okay. Summoner, in its current state, is considered by many to be one of the easier DPS rotations to execute. I say considered by many because, of course, that sort of thing is variable between people. But you might notice, like, if you look at my hotbars, Summoner has relatively... Well, not that one. Summoner has relatively few buttons compared to some. The way Summoner works is first you summon Bahamut, and then you shoot them with Bahamut a lot. And then you are able to summon Titan, Garuda, and Ifrit. And you can summon those three in any order, and you get sort of a limited amount of ammunition in each phase. Like, you do a big summon hit, and then you switch to, like, a Titan phase, where you can do rock spells, basically. And then you switch to Garuda or Ifrit. And then once you've gone through all of those three, Bahamut has rotated to Phoenix, and you use Phoenix, which has a few supportive abilities, but also lets you shoot laser beams, basically. And then when Phoenix is over, you'll have the elemental trio back again, and then you go through that phase again, and then you go back to Bahamut, and then the trio, and then Phoenix, and then the trio, and then Bahamut. And yeah, I mean, in terms of like summoner progression, if we look at actions and traits, You don't get Summon Bahamut until 70. And you don't get, like, Phoenix until 80. So, like, early Summoner doesn't have the Bahamut phase. Or the Phoenix phase. And mostly focuses on these three. And they're not, like, the big primal summons immediately. It's sort of just, like, empowers your carbuncle. Also, regarding Bahamut having a small head to look more large, there is a bespoke text command that is /pet size that adjusts the size of the like Bahamut, Phoenix, and Demi Primal, or Demi Bahamut, Demi Phoenix, and Demi Primal summons. Like, for example, Summon Titan 2. Summoners did not get to have big summon animation attacks before Endwalker redid Summoner. Summoners were focused on damage over time abilities. They did have a Bahamut phase, but they mostly like poisoned stuff. It was weird. But the pet size command, you might have seen Titan there, was a bit smaller than you would expect. That is, I have my pet sizes set to small so that I can see things better. You can set them to large and have them be their actual size and obscure the entire screen with Titan. The pet size command also affects the size of pets or summons from other summoners. So if you set it to large, any summoner existing will obscure your screen, which is silly. And not something I would prefer, but it probably would be funny. But yeah, if you're wondering why Bahamut and company are kind of small, that's mostly why. Oh, and I have this other thing down here, is summoners still have ether flow, but it's entirely used for energy drain or pain flare, basically. So I don't know why they have that, but it's there. It's their off global cooldown mechanic and stack and whatnot. Unfortunately, no, you can't reskin Titan. You can change like what your carbuncle looks like to any of the old E guys, and like by default, when you went into one of these before unlocking Summon Titan Garuda and Ifrit 2, it would also still have that E guy, and you could make those carbuncles or whatever. But now that they are actually like summoning like Demi Titan, Demi Garuda, Demi Ifrit, you can't customize what they look like other than their size. And you can't customize Phoenix or Bahamut either. But you can customize the basic Carbuncle, who also does stuff for the record. Carbuncle allows you to use a shield, which is more in line with what you'd expect from Carbuncle. I guess Searing Light is not a Carbuncle thing. I kind of thought it was for some reason, but it seems to just be a general... I'm not sure if you can use... You might only be able to use Searing Light when Carbuncle is present. Carbuncle disappears temporarily for other summon things, so you do have to time like the Carbuncle buffs if you want to use those. Anyway. I don't know Summoner super well, but that's a general overview. Welcome to Mordsuk, friend. As you can see, it's a bustling trading post frequented by merchants from across the realm. At least it was before Phronesis showed up and started preying on unwitting travelers. Hence the bounty, you see. The lucrative reward has attracted the attention of one capable bounty hunter after the next, yet the fiend still roams free. You can probably imagine why. Those few who've seen Phronesis and returned to tell the tales speak of the great horrors they witnessed. Cavernous black holes materializing out of thin air, swallowing everything around them into the abyss. Just don't stand in the AoE indicator. It's fine. People have taken to calling them the Hollows. Rumor has it that one barely has time to lay eyes on Phronesis before he summons forth the Hollows, which proceed to consume everything in sight. And I do mean everything. Just the other day, an entire caravan was devoured by the Hollows, leaving only nothingness behind. That's bad. Huh. Mages have postulated that these holes are literally tears in the fabric of our reality, gateways to other worlds, to put it another way. At any rate, suffice to say that the next man to come back from the void will be the first. If this is actually gateways to the void, that's interesting. Computer? Computer. Computer. Hello? Computer. Uh-oh. What? Hello? Hello? I think everything broke. I need confirmation of this. My avatar was freezing up. Like this, the preview on OBS is frozen right now. The game is still going. Can you hear me? OBS is not working. Hold on. Hello. Hopefully. I had to restart the stream because I had to restart OBS because OBS's preview window froze. So, a thing my computer has been doing on occasion is that the secondary monitor blacks out abruptly. And this confuses the computer because it thinks that there's only one monitor and tries to adjust. This is the first time that has ever happened while I was actually doing something of import. Well, saying my streams are of import, I guess. And it caused a significant amount of problems, so now I guess I have to figure out how to fix that at some point. I have no idea why it's doing that. This computer's pretty new, too. It was doing that basically instantly after I got it. Luckily, OBS seemed to have only, like, my avatar apparently disappeared, and OBS, like, the preview window froze, but the monitor is also brand new, for the record. Well, mostly. I mean, I got it at the same time as the computer. I'm also no tech wizard. Luckily, OBS was, like, working enough to let me stop the recording, so I'll just have to edit this together later. If that happens again at some point, this might be a heckin' mess, but, you know, whatever. Such is the nature of computer, I guess, is that it sucks. Anyway. And yet, there's something odd about it all. Witnesses say that Phronesis doesn't seem to—
This happens to me too sometimes. It makes me look spooky WTH, just one deep black eye.
Calico is now desynced. Now I'm going to scream. It's time for other shenanigans. First of all, I need to pet Calico to see. This is not desynced. Only the talking frame is desynced. No. Why? Calico, why? Calico, why? Calico, why? It's time for tech support with Calico. Again. You might say, does this really matter? Oh, I fixed it instantly. Good. Okay, let's...
Meow.
I did fix it instantly. Sometimes it takes 45 million years, and sometimes it takes 1 second.
Row.
Anyway, hello and welcome, everybody.
I am machine. My problems have no reason. My actions have no excuses.
I think Calico has an AI with the ability to have reason and excuse, question mark?
To the stars.
Oh.
They're my optic blast. A vile, blood-curdling nightmare. What a wretched beast.
Destroy!
Well then. Everything happens so much. Hello and welcome You've already missed me having to restart the stream once because my monitor shut off temporarily, which threw everything off the rails. And I'm in the middle of talking to Sarek here, but everything keeps happening. Something about phrenesis, I guess? That could be an optic blast, but it was Arctic blast. Hello and welcome everybody to whatever is happening. The stream has already descended into chaos. And my brain is already frazzled again. No!
Why isn't this working? What? Hey! What the frick? No! I'll do it manually. Why? I don't know if the voice is working either. I'm going to assume it is, unless someone says otherwise. I don't know why anything breaks, and my brain has already been broken. I've been streaming for like 30 minutes or less. Sorry.
Just take a look at this.
I'm looking at it, Barry. Okay. I need to like breathe for a second.
The voice distortion is what I meant. Witnesses say that phrenesis doesn't seem to go out of his way to prey on people or settlements. He simply shambles across the waste, summoning hollows one after the next, and the destruction follows as a matter of course. Needless to say, drawing too near to the fiend is tantamount to suicide. Even attacks from afar have been all but futile, as phrenesis simply summons the hollows to consume every incoming arrow. Whoa. With every conceivable means of attack foiled, even the most savvy bounty hunters have all but thrown up their hands, even though the bounty now stands at some 9 or 10-fold the original amount. Yeah, I am very early in the questline. I'm of a different mind, however. The way I see it, if only there were a way to neutralize the hollows, we'd more than stand a chance against phrenesis himself. This is why I require your services. Your easy triumph over the Sin Eaters spoke clear. You're a mage of no common skill. If anyone has the arcane knowledge and aptitude to help me figure out a way to defend against the hollows, it's you. Nod. Don't worry, I fully intend to shoulder my share of the burden, and so I plan to gather all the information we need before asking you to put yourself in harm's way. And with that, I'd best get to work. Once I've formulated a proper plan of attack, we'll talk again. Until then, I suggest you continue to hone your casting skills. The battle that awaits us will not be an easy one. I'm just going to be super worried that my computer's gonna mess up again this entire time. Ah, there you are, and your timing couldn't be better. As luck would have it, a little bird told me that phrenesis was sighted in the vicinity not long ago. Don't you worry, I have no intention of rushing in like a fool. My plan is to shadow the Sin Eater from afar, that we might observe the hollows with our own eyes and formulate a suitable plan of attack. To that end, I procured this mannequin here from a merchant acquaintance of mine at the Crystarium. By setting it on phrenesis's trail, I mean to gauge just how wide of a berth we must keep from the fiend, so as to not be sucked up into the void. Shed no tears for the little fellow, friend. His sacrifice will be the key to our success. And yet, as you can see, he's not quite in the best state of repair. Pray lend me a hand in procuring what we need to get him back on his feet. Oh, I don't see anything, but okay. Nod. You're a lifesaver, friend. I just spotted nasty-looking sandskin Sibyli lurking about to the east of here, and I do believe one of their tendons should serve well to put some spring back in the little fellow's step. Snag one for me and I'll see to the repairs. Okay, this other person is not standing on anything I'm supposed to be noticing. As you can see, It's invisible. I wonder if like some connection between the monitors and stuff is just loose somewhere. And there's Phoenix. Hello Demi Phoenix. Thanks. There have been many requests from people over time to allow summoners to have more E-Guys than just Titan, Garuda, and Ifrit. But there's actually story reasons why summoner cannot have more than 3 E-Guys. Well, I mean, they made story reasons to justify that at some point. And Demi Bahamut and Demi Phoenix are a little bit are different. I might do the summoner quest at some point because they're kind of interesting. Like, I might do them on camera. Any luck finding that tendon? For my part, I've acquired something that should serve as a makeshift gear. Cost me an arm and a leg, but hey, if it helps us claim that bounty in the end, it'll be more than worth it. I guess that's true. Also, hello and welcome. I found a tendon. Perfect. Yes, I reckon this is durable and elastic enough to replace the mannequin's snapped drive belt. I'll fetch my toolbox and get started straight away. In the meantime, why don't you scout us out a suitable lookout point? Phronesis was last sighted just southeast of town. Try to find us a spot on higher ground out of sight from the main thoroughfare. It took me a second to even process your joke. But I guess demi is a phrase used often in gender and sexuality discussion, so that does make sense. Also, someone's gender is definitely Demi Bahamut. Which reminds me that thanks to the brilliance of phone's auto-suggestion, earlier, when I was discussing the Final Fantasy XIV, what is it? I keep forgetting the full name of the Dawn Trail stuff. For the record, I haven't seen the trailer. I've seen like 4 still images of the trailer, some of which are hinting at a new class, and 2 of which are Graha Tia and Urianger looking at a taco and a pineapple, respectively. But I have a theory that the class that they hint at in the trailer is Rune Fencer from 11. And when I tried to type Rune Fencer in my phone at somebody, my phone tried to say Rune Gender, and I just wanted to mention that. They are also looking at them respectively and respectfully. Shoutouts to Rune Gender, though. Definitely a real thing. Anything and everything can be a gender. Anyway. Agender, or just gender in general. Well, also anything could be agender, as in not having a gender. There's a lot of nuance here. Anyway. Oh, there's the mannequin. Hello there, friend. I'm changing this person's voice every 2 seconds. As you can see, our clockwork friend is back in tip-top shape. I don't think I've seen that model anywhere else. Or at least I don't remember it. And since it appears you've found us the perfect lookout spot, why don't we get down to work? I'll kindle us a fire. We might be here for a while. Nod. Ah, it's from... okay. Well, I'll be. There's the bastard. Glance. Look closely now and hold your gaze. You must witness the sheer horror with your own 2 eyes. Okay. No, we mustn't send out the mannequin too soon. If Phronesis sees it, he may very well blast it to bits before it even has a chance to investigate the hollows. Staring into the void. Leaving. Just wandering about, opening portals to the void everywhere with no... And there he goes. I'll send the mannequin in to trail him. Let's sit back and enjoy the show. Here goes the mannequin. Walking towards the void. Seems like void. Oh no! Whoop! Just as I expected, gone without a trace. Shed no tears for our little friend. Through his sacrifice, we now know just how much distance we must keep from the hollows to avoid being sucked into the void. I would have known that anyway, because I would have seen an AoE indicator on the ground. Now it's our turn. Let's edge a bit closer and see what we can observe. Mind you, take care not to wander too close, lest you fancy a vacation to a dark, shadowy abyss. Not really. Quick shoot an arrow at it. I feel like we could have just tested this by shooting an arrow at it, too. It's as if a shadowy whirlwind rages inside, ready to suck anything and everything into the void. I've seen many a horrific sight in my day, but this sends a shiver up the spine. That could also be true. Let me out. It's so dark in here. Oh. Now that's different. Huh? Why the pale face, friend? You look as if you've seen a ghost. Well, the thing about the cardinal virtues is that they're all basically that. Anyway. I heard a voice. A voice, you say? From inside the hollow? But that's impossible. Is anyone out there? Please help me. Help me get out of here. Are you alive? Or over here? Was that a voice? Is someone out there? If you can hear me, please, you must help me. I can't see anything. No road, no trees, not even an ether current to follow. Which way do I go? How do I get out of this place? This voice, what in the God's name is it saying? The voice of a boy, you say? Claims he's lost inside with no ether current to follow. Sounds like he's adrift in the flow, not unlike what would happen if an aetherite, to which one was teleporting, was destroyed mid-journey. Wait a minute. What if there was some way you could channel your ether into the void? Might that not allow your etheric form to serve as a beacon of sorts to guide that child back to us? Of course, not that I know how we'd go about that. Determined. You reckon you could do just that? I wouldn't even think of asking how. Do your damnedest. Simply channel. Wicked White, I knew you were no ordinary sinner, but even still you find ways to surprise me. I don't know exactly what I'm doing, to be honest. Like, this is a different kind of light beam before than I've seen before. Child rescued. Like, I've never done anything of that exact nature before. I've done the attuning pose. Where am I? Well, I'll be damned. There was a child inside. Our little expedition has left us with more questions than answers, eh? But for now, this boy needs our care. Let us carry him back to Mordsuk and find him a warm bed and some nourishment. Nod. So far, one of the more interesting things to me about this role quest line is that Serrig is like the most just kind of a helpful good guy of any of the role quest characters that we've seen. Like, he's just kind of helping. And, like, trusting us. And, like, wanting to be helpful and, like, solve problems. Like, he does want the bounty. But also, he seems like he's, like, just kind of a good person, maybe? Whereas Granson was a big old grumpus, blinded by revenge a little bit, and Lou Reek was a spoiled rich brat trying to get away from his, the problems with his family and their lack of caring about him and so on. Sarek's just kind of an okay guy. The boy's resting now. He's weak but not wounded, at least as far as I can tell. Needless to say, his presence raises questions. Are there others trapped on the other side of the hollows? If so, might they also be returned to our world alive? Nod. There is much we must ask him when he awakes. On another subject, this might be an odd question, but have you ever looked after a child before? What do you think? Or, as a matter of fact... Define child. What age range are we? Does Alphino count? Kind of. You don't say. In that case, he's all yours. I'm just in, friend. I can't very well tie you down here forever. Worry not, I'll manage somehow. I suppose the first order of the day should be to get some food in his belly. He does look terribly pale after all. Methinks I'll go hunting for some meat. No, perhaps I should take him to a physician first. After all, he may be suffering from some ailment inscrutable to the eye. Or maybe I should... Damn it all, I knew I wasn't cut out for this. Sarek is an okay guy with anxiety. And who really wants to help. Echoes of the past. Ah, there you are. You'll be happy to know that the boy is awake and seems to be no worse for the wear, physically speaking at least. There's just one rub, you see. He has no recollection of where he came from, or just how he managed to get swallowed up in the void. So, taking the quest name that we've just seen into account, but also, like, this was my instinct immediately upon hearing this voice. This is like a past version of Nielbert. This is my theory. This is like an echo of past Nielbert or something. Because we did just see the title, Echoes of the Past. But also, like, I immediately thought that that was some sort of, like, past version of Nielbert. I guess we'll find out, though. Also, hello and welcome to more people. Gasp. In fact, other than his own name, Taynor... Oh, never mind. He can't remember much of anything at all. He seems a good lad, mind you. Eats my half-arsed cooking with a smile and nary a word of complaint. Yet I reckon he's hurting inside and badly. We must reunite him with his parents with all due speed. Nod. I suggested that he go for a stroll around Mordsuk in the hopes that the sights might help to jog his memories. He can't have wandered far. Why don't you go check up on him? Taynor, want to see my cool motorcycle? Maybe it will help jog your memories. Yeah, this is... I really like this, like, cardigan. The Diadoko's coat of casting. This wasn't originally the summoner outfit that I had planned. Do I still have that in here? Sucro, please. Yeah, this was what I was thinking of for... summoner before, but then I put this one together later, and I like the cardigan. Chunky Kong is always good to think about, I guess. He can pick up a boulder with relative ease, I've heard. I realize this is something of a detour, but we can't simply leave a poor amnesic orphan to fend for himself. Or amnesic orphan to fend for himself, now can we? Let's find the boy a safe home as soon as we can. Do not tell me. You're the one who rescued me from the flow, yes? I feel from you the same warmth that reached out to me when I was adrift in the ether. Nod. Well, I'll be damned. The boy's a sharp one. And that's not the least of it. The carer who examined him said they could feel great power welling up from within him. Despite his young age, Taynor here seems to possess a remarkable command of the magical arts. Could still be a young Yelbert, actually. Could be that Yelbert is, like, a surname. Could be Taynor Yelbert, or something of that sort. I'm sticking with my theory. Perhaps I do, and yet I cannot say. Try as I might, I can recall nothing of who I am, or where I came from, only the darkness. No need for apologies, boy. You did well just to make it back to us. Speaking of which, can you remember anything at all of what you felt when you were adrift in the void? Adrift in the void? That I remember, or at least I think I do. I recall a vague sensation of someone passing alongside me. Indeed, I believe this is what roused me from my slumber. If the Hollows truly are a gate between worlds, would that mean that someone recently traveled from ours to another, or from another to ours? But that's not possible, or is it? Sucro's just sort of like standing here. Well, you see... Yes. You'd be surprised. Or don't be ridiculous. But you'd be surprised, definitely. You know something I don't, friend? Worry not, I won't pry for details. Ah, well, no sense racking our brains over matters beyond our comprehension. Let's concentrate on what we can do, namely finding the boy here a home. No doubt his memories will come back to him in due time. Nod. You truly do that? For me? But the two of you have already saved my life. I couldn't possibly burden you any further. Ah, it's no burden at all. Besides, if we can figure out just who you are and where you came from, it might just lead us to the answers we seek. Now let's consider the options. One possibility is that you're an orphan, all alone in this world with not a soul to care for or look after you. And yet, this seems unlikely. Yes, the mystical powers you possess say otherwise. If you truly are as skilled in magic as they say, then it stands to reason that someone trained you in the art. Who this master of yours is, and whether you are of their blood or simply received their tutelage, this I cannot say. But either way, I'm certain they're worried sick about you. If that truly is so, I would very much like to meet this person too. Smile. Nod. That settles it then. Let's get down to business. I took the liberty of inquiring around Mordsuk in the Crystarium. Unfortunately, there have been no reports of missing persons matching Taynor's description. Which means that while we have no choice but to take our search elsewhere. I know of a merchant in town whose travels often take him far afield. Let us have a talk with him and see if he's heard any helpful rumors. Nod. 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 I also originally had the cardigan in this outfit as like a blue color, but then I dyed it black because I realized I could make the outfit resemble the Ace Pride flag. Also featured on my little cape. Important feature. Always loved that color scheme. Impressive how Taynor's managed to keep himself together, eh? The boy's mature beyond his years, no doubt. Two of you are far too kind. I cannot thank you enough. Rumors of a missing boy, you say? Funny that you ask. It's a long shot, I reckon, but I overheard something the other day that might be of use. Gasp. On my way to Mordsuk, I stopped over at the inn at Journey's Head. There I met an ailing mage. As the carers took it, he'd been ambushed by a sin-eater and was separated from his child in the battle. Bloody hells, could it be? If the sin-eater that attacked the poor man was Phronesis, that would explain everything. This man you speak of, he could be my father? We must go to him at once. Agreed. I only hope that the man is... No, there's no point in presuming the worst. Let us make for the inn and see what the carers there can tell us. Unfortunately, due to the fact that this is presumably taking place in time before the end of 5.0, assuming the worst is more likely to be correct than assuming that things are fine, but we'll see. My father is here, but this place is... I just hope whatever we find here puts a smile on the poor boy's face. It probably won't. And who's this other child? Oh there, I hear there's a mage in your care who's lost his boy. Well, I do believe we have him right here. Gasp? Huh? I fear there must be some mistake. The boy in question has already been found. This is him right here. Perhaps the boy is now two boys. One brings shadow, one brings light. They have the hair colors for such a duality. What? So it wasn't my father after all? This boy with you, he too has been separated from his family? Yeah. I have that set of suspenders in my glamour dresser. I haven't really used it for much though. Just so, we heard that a man here was looking for his son and we just hoped... Alas, it seems it wasn't meant to be. But there are many people here, yes? Might I ask around and see if any of the others are my family? But of course, yet many of the people here are quite ill and in many cases in considerable pain. It is not a place for a young child to walk around unattended. Indeed, it's not. Guess that means either myself or Sucro here should accompany him. I'll go with him. The walk might help me, take my mind off things. Not a bad idea if the lad doesn't mind. I reckon Taynor would rather be with someone of his own age. Nod. Clearly they are both the same person, who is also a past version of Yelbert somehow. Take his mind off things. Speaking of which, how is the boy's father holding up? I fear the poor man has already departed on his journey. He's a man no longer. Oh. Shake head sadly and think. The child insisted upon staying by his father's side until the last. I permitted this out of respect for him, though part of me regrets the choice. None so young should suffer such horrors. Shake head. It was some small solace to learn that he has living relatives who reside at the Crystarium. In fact, I was just making preparations to escort him there myself. I see. Reckon we should also find someone to look after Taynor as well. Sucro gasped slightly. Don't get me wrong, friend. I haven't given up on the prospect of finding the boy's family, but we have no other leads and a deadly sin-eater still on the loose. If the lad tags along with us every step of the way, he's far more likely to end up dead or worse than to ever reunite with his family. Here's what I propose. We find someone to watch after Taynor for the time being, get back on the hunt, and gather whatever clues we can about his origins along the way. Is there not more we can do? Or, very well, but we must see that he's safe. Is there not more we can do? I too wish there were more we could do for the lad, but think of it this way. If we don't do something about that damned sin-eater, who knows how many poor children will end up like Taynor. Thinking. Look, I don't like this any more than you do, but it's the best we can do for the boy given our circumstances. At any rate, let's find him and share the news. Don't worry, it's my decision and I intend to take responsibility for it. Sarek is just a very responsible and helpful guy. It's weird compared to the other role quests. Forgive me, my friends. I wish there were more we could do for the child, but our resources are already stretched terribly thin. I wish you luck in finding his family. But how's Halric doing? Would you like a nectarine? Halric is recovering somewhat. Greetings, Sucro. If you've come to see Halric, I'm pleased to say he's been faring well. Him and all of us. And whatever she's doing at the moment, we hope Alize is well too. When next you see her, please pass along our regards. Hey, they changed the dialogue of the people at the inn. Like, after 5.3, presumably. Mumble. This warmth in my chest is spreading. I can feel it in my hands. I think that one's new. Or, no, wait, that one's the same. But, like, Halric and the caregiver over there have new dialogue, I think. Also, that cutscene made it look like Sucro was about the same height as Sarig, but he was just standing on a lower part of the ground. Anyone else have anything to say? Starting to think maybe I'll get better someday. Well enough to go home. The change we've seen in our patients is nothing short of miraculous, though they still have a long way to go before we can call their recovery complete. It's possible that the what do you do there here and what kind of places this options were different. I think it'd be really funny if there were like a cutscene in the game somewhere where you were given a dialogue option in like the cutscene format and the options were what do you do here and what kind of place is this. I think that would be a good bit. I'm sorry, it's all my fault. Uh-oh. Something bad has happened. We'll see what that is in a moment. I need to make a new today's game image with the correct hairstyle. But I'll be right back. Hello, I'm back. Thank you for petting Calico 3 times. I said it before, but everyone spending points to pet Calico a bunch during times when I'm away makes me think that I might not actually need to do the funny BRB gambling minigame idea. I'm pretty close to... I guess I'm pretty close to being able to just do that, but I don't know. I have a problem where I just sort of get distracted and then fall off of an idea. Anyway, I might have to step away semi-often due to health reasons, and that time I also thought I should inform others who might be able to help me about the weird monitor issue, so we can figure that out later. But anyway. I'm sorry, it's all my fault. Bad news, friend. It seems the two young ones got into a quarrel of sorts, and Tanor's up and run away. Seems the lad mentioned how he'd come out from one of the hollows. The other boy put 2 and 2 together and figured he'd been attacked by a sin eater. Then I said my dad was attacked by a sin eater, and then he turned into one himself. So I asked, what if you turn into a sin eater too? Tanor's face went all white. He kept saying, what do you mean? What do you mean? Over and over and over again. I couldn't take it anymore. Before I knew it, I was shouting at him, shut up, just shut up, I bet you're turning into a sin eater already. Why? Why did I say such a mean and nasty thing? Don't be so hard on yourself, lad. Both of you have had a rough go of it these past few days. Nobody could blame either of you for feeling a bit on edge. But we must hurry and find Tainor before he comes to harm. Let's split up. I'll search to the west and you take the east, and be careful out there. Nod. You'll bring Tainor back, won't you? I just want to tell him I'm sorry. Oh. Surrounded by Scorpion. Good thing there's no friendly fire, I guess. I'm glad it's not just me that feels like that's really weird. When I heard the clamor of battle, I feared the worst, but I see you've everything under control. Are you okay, lad? Nod. Forgive me, I don't deserve this kindness. Shake head. I was just so scared. I was worried about what would become of me if I never recovered my memories. And then I started thinking, what if I ended up like that boy's father? What if it's already happening to me? That's one matter you needn't worry yourself with. The carer who examined you told me as much. You suffer no direct wounds. You're in no more danger of turning into a sin eater than Sucro or me. Sucro just kind of coughs. And, like, looks away for a second. Is that so? That's good to hear, but I must apologize to that boy. I should have known better than to badger him about such things, especially after what happened to his father. Funny thing that, he was saying the same thing about you. You both have good hearts, lad, and you've been through more than any man should. There's no need to be ashamed about your feelings. There's still so much I do not understand about this world. Why does no one here know of me? Am I doomed to be alone for the rest of my days? Why must it be this way? If only I could remember something, anything. I'm sick of not knowing who I am. I'm sick of being alone. Oh no. Good news, I'll remember it for you. Oh. Now it's your turn, Taynor. Yeah. Yeah. The no danger of turning into a sin eater. Like, given that this effectively takes place during 5.0, it could be at any point, I guess. And yeah, good thing we can have a plot-relevant flashback. Now it's your turn, Taynor, and do not be disheartened by your last attempt. Even the greatest of mages have known failure. You know, your command of magic is the equal of my own. If I can succeed, there's no reason why you cannot. Free your mind of worry and focus. Thank you, Neilbert. I shall try my best. I was close! But not quite. This is a friend of young Neilbert. I was close. I don't know why that voice. You were close was not said in the Hotel Mario voice. There was someone else who said that. I have good news and bad news. Wicked White, are you alright, Sucro? Sometimes I have flashbacks to other people's past and it's fine. I remember now. I was standing here on these blighted plains, my head hung low in shame. Then Yelbert turned to me with a smile and heartening words. So you also remembered at the same time. Yelbert, why does the name sound so familiar? I reckon we've much to discuss, but not in this God's forsaken place. Let's head back to the inn and see if we can't get to the bottom of this. Nod. Another thing Sarek keeps doing that's surprising me is like some wacky, wild stuff happens directly in front of him and he's like, well, okay, we'll figure this out, but we have we gotta do stuff. We'll figure this out. I'll worry about this later. Like, Sarek is taking all of this weird stuff happening very well, in addition to just being, like, a good person. Yeah, I guess this place was kind of a barren waste even before the flood. I guess we did just learn that. I actually forgot that the Echo gave Sid his memories back in Realm Reborn. Huh. I do hope he'll forgive me. We have much to discuss, but first we should let the two boys make their peace. Taynor, are you alright? I'm so sorry, I shouldn't have said those nasty things. Forgive me for reacting as I did. I'm fine. In fact, I seem to have recovered some of my memories. Really? That's wonderful. Maybe you won't feel so scared and alone anymore. Nod. I'm leaving to go live in the Crystarium with my relatives. Promise me you'll come visit? I mean, after you get your memories back and all, of course. It's a promise. Until next time, my friend. Unnamed forlorn boy has now departed. I knew you two would work things out. Now let us return to Mordsuk. We have more than our share of questions that need answering. Group nod. I'm willing to just fly there instead of teleport. And yeah, I guess this place is basically Thanaland, so it being a desert makes sense. It's just even more of a desert, and then became even more of a desert. Still a thriving hub of trade, sometimes. Which is also like Thanaland, actually. I cannot help but I feel I also made a promise to that boy in my memories. Yelbert, was it? As I saw it, first you fainted all of a sudden. When you came to, a portion of Taenor's memories had returned. What in the world happened out there? Nod. Explain. Sarek is just going to calmly accept this, isn't he? Continuing to be surprising. The power to look into the past, eh? And you're certain that what Sucro described matches up with your recollection of the past? Nod. I don't know how to break this to you, lad, but your friend Yelbert that was with you that day, he's no ordinary boy. He's none other than the very man who became Phronesis, one of those God's damned warriors of light. He was just a young child in your memories. That means that what you saw took place over 100 years ago. Would that it were just a coincidence, another boy with the same name, but no, judging from the formidable command of magic, we can only assume it was him. On the way back, I managed to recall some more about Yelbert and myself. We were taken in by a group of mages, a consortium of sorts. They were searching for a means to open a hole to another world, and were recruiting young children with high magical aptitude for the task. Yelbert and myself were the two they chose. You can't be serious! And yet, that would explain the Sin Eater's ability to summon those damned hollows. And if you possess the same knowledge and training as Yelbert did, it could also explain why you were able to survive in there all that time. But what I don't understand is, well, why haven't you aged at all? I cannot say for sure, and yet my memories, they're slowly coming back to me. In time, I may be able to help you find a way to close the hollows. You'd be a lifesaver if you could, but don't overburden yourself. You're still recovering, after all. In the meantime, don't worry. Sucro and I will see that you're safe. Questioning head tilt? I thought Taenor was just a victim of the Sin Eater. To think he was actually friends with the man himself, back when he was still a man. This can't be simple coincidence. Yes, I'm convinced of it now. The child holds the key to defeating Phronesis. We must keep him safe and not let him out of our sights. Besides, look at how hard he's trying to recover his memories. I'm not so heartless as to kick the poor lad aside before he's figured matters out. Smile. Nod. Sarek is going to adopt Taenor by the end of this, probably. But we can't very well rush things. You and I will continue to prepare for the battle ahead while waiting for the rest of Taenor's memories to come back to him. That is to say, if it's all right with you, lad. I'm so sorry. I couldn't possibly burden you any further. Look, lad, I've only known you for a short while, but I can tell you've a good heart and a good head on your shoulders. I can only begin to imagine the horrors you've been through, not to mention the fears and uncertainty you face even now. But I want you to promise me this, no more apologies. You're no burden to us, not in the least. You're a valuable member of our band, and as long as you're willing, I want you with us. Isn't that right, Sucro? Nod. I see. Thank you, Sarek. Thank you, Sucro. I will aid your quest in whatever way I can. Now that's more like it. We're counting on you, lad. As far as greenery in Thanalan versus Amarang goes, there is probably more greenery in Thanalan. As mentioned, like scrub grass and sparse trees. There are desert plants in Amarang, though. Like these over here. Not jugular hecatomb. I mean the tree. And I guess you could argue that the gigantender counts. But I would say overall there's definitely more greenery and less desert in Thanalan to some degree. Oh, there's striking dummies here. I freaking forgot. Let's try the summoner rotation. Oh, it's on Phoenix right now. That's fine. I accidentally used Swift Cast. So, Titan, Garuda, and Ifrit all have sort of different things that they do. Titan's sort of in the middle. Garuda has a lot of really fast cast times, but also places this field down that does an AoE. And then Ifrit has slow cast times, but also a melee combo. So Ifrit is the one that you have to like carefully judge when to use, basically. And then you use Ruin 4, and then you're back in Bahamut. So the summoner rotation is considered by many people to be relatively easy to understand, though I don't want to make an objective statement that it is. According to the rotation, Slipstream is when using Swift Cast is a good idea, from what I recall. Though you might also want to save Swift Cast for the Resurrection, depending on things. So yeah, it seems like I remember the summoner rotation, so that's good. Summoner technically gets weaker? Huh. I don't like saying that like summoner is objectively the easiest job, because different things are gonna click more for different people, of course. It's just like it's widely considered to be relatively straightforward, and also it has relatively fewer buttons than many. So I like it because it's less stress for me. Oh right, this is not at all what we're looking for. You and Sareg have shown me no end of kindness. I will do all in my power to recover my memories and return the favor in whatever way I can. Red Mage is the job that I mained in Stormblood when that released. Summoner, depending on when you tried it, if you tried Arcanist and stuff like after, I actually don't know what Arcanist is like after Endwalker, but like I have seen a lot of people think Summoner was kind of like a slow or boring job because of the like lower amount of buttons and like the slower, I guess, rhythm of it. So it's not for everyone. I've seen many people complain it's too simple or too easy or whatever. Old Summoner was like the most complicated job to play well, so it's also very jarring for people who liked that. Old Summoner didn't really summon so much as they applied damage over time, and sometimes shot Bahamut lasers, I think. But anyway, Yelbert's Lament. So that last quest, when we said there's no chance of either of us turning into a Sin Eater, was at level 74. So let's do a little, let's see, Shadowbringers MSQ quests. Wow, that sounds like a lot of double weaving. Let's see, what level are we at 74? Or like, where are we at level 74 in Shadowbringers? That is when you go to Raktika Greatwood, and when Y'shtola and Urianger start being like, You know, the warrior of light and or darkness has a little bit too much light in their soul right now. That's pretty concerning. So this would be at, if you were to do this alongside the main story, this would be at the point when it's becoming clear that there is a significant risk of you becoming a Sin Eater or succumbing to the light and something happening that's bad. So that's interesting. I have no idea what low-level Arcanist is like now because I got past that part before Endwalker. Carbuncle just moonwalked for a few frames, I think. Also, the best selling point of Summoner, and also Scholar now, and also Arcanist in general, could probably be Carbuncle, because look at this funny little creature. Look at this funny fella. Look, this other person here is petting my Carbuncle. They get it. Shoutouts to Celeste Feldspar for petting my Carbuncle. She gets it. Cool name also. Yeah, a lot of the jobs also feel pretty bad early on, I will say. Thank you for petting Calico. Saying, like, maybe it's just, since you said maybe it's the fact that it's incomplete at those levels, a lot of the jobs feel like garbage early. And, like especially if you've played the later stuff, but, like, for example, there are a lot of things you don't get for a long time on even like your main job. So if you go back to a lower level for like roulette or whatever, it's gonna suck. Like, for example, you don't have your second AoE until level 40 on Paladin. You don't have your gap closer until 74 on Paladin, etc. Not getting your gap closer until 74 is maybe one of the more egregious examples of not having what feels like an important feature for a while that I can think of right off the top of my head. But that's because I'm a Paladin main at this point in time, so that is the one that I would... Feldspar was the one that got stuck in Dark Bramble, I believe. I think the gender of all of the people in Outer Wilds is they, them, or like the pronouns, but I'm not entirely sure. Paladin's the least aggressively oriented tank. That is probably correct. In fact, I would say that is definitely correct. They are the most defensive one, maybe. Unless, like, you count Warrior Lifesteal as defense, but they do that by attacking, so... Yeah. Oh, so the Dawn Trail, I remembered the name this time. The Dawn Trail trailer. As I mentioned, I've only seen like 4 stills of it. So I don't know the... No spoilers. I'm not gonna watch that trailer until I get to the end of Endwalker. But, the class they are hinting at appears to use a single one-handed sword and nothing in the offhand. I mentioned earlier that my theory is that they're hinting at Rune Fencer, like from 11, or some variant of Rune Fencer. But I didn't mention that they use a single one-handed sword, which is interesting because Paladin can also do that if they make their shield invisible. And I guess, like, Red Mage uses a one-handed sword and a focus. But it's interesting, and I really wonder what the classes are going to be. There's a melee DPS and a magical DPS. Also, Yoshi P was wearing a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles shirt. And Yoshi P's shirts are always vital hints to what the classes are going to be. So, I saw someone guess that since all the turtles are named after Renaissance artists, that's hinting at Pictomancer for the magic class, which would be rad, I think. That's a really cool idea. I have mentioned Pictomancer before as a possible thing. And my other guess is simply that the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are hinting that the melee class is another scouting class like Ninja is, because we don't have another of scouting. Oh yeah, the exclamation point spoilers. No one was in danger of spoiling anything. I just wanted to make sure that that was clear. Anyway. Currently, my guesses are probably Runefencer and Pictomancer. Because I like the theory that someone online had somewhere of the... Yeah. So, Runefencer in 11 used like a greatsword, allegedly, though it looked more like a longsword to me. It's... like, all I saw is like 2 pictures of John Final Fantasy XIV Meteor holding a sword, and like in one of them he's doing a pose that looks vaguely similar to poses in Runefencer concept art. Like he's about to try and cast a Runefencer spell. And the sword also looks vaguely similar to some Runefencer swords, or like one Runefencer sword that is prominent in the concept art. I've not played 11 enough to know much about Runefencer, but I just thought of Runefencer when I saw the single sword and the pose somehow. But that's my theory. If I'm right, neat. If I'm not, it's probably something else cool. Anyway. Good news, friend. Taynor here has told me that his memories are starting to come back to him. There's one recollection in particular he says he's eager to discuss with the two of us. Tell us, lad, what is it? As time goes by, memories of my earlier days return to me piece by piece.
What counts as a spoiler? Hinting at, alluding to, or directly stating anything that hasn't happened yet or isn't known about yet in the game. Joke/fake spoilers are no better than real spoilers. Please try to remember what is known at whatever point in the game we're at, and if you're not sure about whether something is a spoiler, don't say it. Basically, use your best judgment. Thank you.
That's a good way to use the exclamation point spoiler text. Thank you for that, and for petting Calico. Though those were 2 separate people. Thank you all. Nielbert and I were born to members of a great consortium of mages. From our earliest years, we were tutored in the magical arts by some of the realm's greatest scholars. The consortium's leaders sought to find a way to open a hole in time and space, a portal to other worlds from which they could summon forth beasts of great power. Nielbert and I were chosen to participate in their research. I think I just hiccuped. I don't know if that got caught. Summoning great beasts from beyond our world? You're a mage, Sucro. Is that even possible? It is a pretty good stonewall texture, actually. Perhaps he speaks of Void Scent? I do know about this. Void Scent? Never heard of them, but I'll take that answer as a yes. Mages come up with the damnedest ideas, eh? And yet I don't understand. Why ever would they use 2 young boys for such a dangerous experiment? The beasts our masters sought to summon reside in the planes most distant from our own. Reaching across a great distance requires a tremendous store of innate ethereal power, and so our masters set about to breed the perfect mage. Ugh. 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 Bad! Marriages were arranged to wed the mightiest members of the consortium to one another, in hopes that they would bring forth children of theretofore unheard-of magical aptitude. Finally, they succeeded. Hey, I don't know if this means all of the elves suck, but the wizard elves in this case definitely do. Yeesh. Yeah, like, the whole consortium is reminding me of the group of black mages in Ul'dah, who don't do magic eugenics, thankfully. But they are a group of powerful mages with the name that I don't remember. And so you were born, and Yelbert. Nod. Indeed. From even before we could speak, we were taught the complex incantations required to breach the boundaries between worlds. We practiced these spells day after day, night after night, for what seemed an eternity. At long last we were deemed ready to attempt the summoning. Sadly, the experiment ended in failure. The pull from beyond the rift was too strong to resist, and I was sucked into a hollow of my own creation. There I remained trapped, alone and adrift in that empty void until Sucro called me back to this world. Alas, over a century had passed since that fateful day. It is kinda summoning, I guess. That's the one thing I still don't understand. If so many years have truly passed, why is it that you've not aged even a whit? Well, time flows differently in between planes. Like, this was happening between the first and the source, so it only stands to reason that it would be happening between the first source and Void, I suppose, but we'd never really thought about it before. I cannot say for certain, but I remember the words of one of my teachers. The rift is not unlike a border between countless worlds, a place that exists beyond time and space. Oh, also the rift is different. I thought you were going to the void, but, you know, still. If it is true that the rift exists outside of our concept of time, then it's all too possible that even seconds spent in that empty pocket could correspond to months, years, or decades in our world. So you've returned to us just as you were that day, even while over a century has passed for the rest of us. But why didn't Yelbert save you? Shouldn't it have been as simple as opening up another portal to the void where you were trapped? I fear that would be close to impossible. Opening the portal and reaching as far into the rift as we did required all of our energies to be focused in unison. So in losing you, not only did Yelbert lose his friend, he lost his only chance at saving you. Talk about being dealt a rough hand. And so, the Sin Eater of Yelbert wanders around opening portals, hoping for Tainor to appear, like with the last remnants of Yelbert that are within this icy. This follows the patterns that we've known. Fear not, I have good news to share as well. I do believe I've managed to recall the incantations needed to summon and manipulate the hollows. Summoning beasts from beyond the rift is far beyond my powers, but I just might be able to seal up the hollows Phronesis so enjoys summoning. What say you, friends? Shall I give it a try? Nod. Oh, now that's music to my ears, but let's not be too hasty. After all, the last time you tried to use this magic, there were some complications, to say the least. An eternity of desperate void gotcha pulls, maybe. Nod. Yes, we must take the necessary precautions before confronting Phronesis in earnest. Let us meet outside the village where Tainor can test out his magic safe from harm. Briefly hearing the tiny pitter-patter of Carbuncle turning around. For like one frame, I forgot that that was Carbuncle and didn't know where that sound was coming from. I don't think this is going to go well. I feel like something is going to happen that involves a fight. I don't know why. I have this feeling. Could be anything. Ever wonder what the world looked like in those days before the flood? No, I've seen, like, parts of it already. I suppose we could ask the boy. Wicked White, you did it, lad! Sadly, I have not the strength to reach further beyond, nor keep the portal open for more than a few moments. No, I will need further training before I can face... Yeah. You probably summoned him by summoning the void portal. Grimace! Phronesis, where in the hells did that bastard come from? Damn it all, I'm too close. I can feel it pulling me in. No. Sarek, no. We know that you're fine, but no. No, Njolbert, these are my friends. You mustn't hurt them. Oh, you made it like a tiny void portal instead. Oh! Time to think about Njolbert. Another look into the past of this group at a different point in time. This isn't good. The cave-ins completely sealed off the tunnel behind us. We've no recourse but to press on without our companions. I like how every time we see this group, they're in like a different set of armor because they're at a different point in their adventure. You heard her. What'll it be? If Njolbert were a Mistel, he would have a different naming scheme entirely, and thus have a different name completely. Oh yeah, you're right. The mysterious elf lady that we pointed out last time, and like, who is that? She's here again. I suppose it falls to us to slay the beast and collect the bounty. Perhaps you and your band would care to take the lead? Ardbert shrugged. Ah, spare me your japes. You've no intention of giving up your prize. Mind you, I too made a promise to my companions, a promise I mean to keep. Silva. Did we know her name? I think we did. Yeah, the dwarf helmet contrast is kind of funny. Ah, I told you that splitting up was a bad idea. If Brandon and Rinda Ray were here, this second-rate spellcaster would be no match for us. Now, Silva, let's not forget who our true foe is here. Lamet, you're certain that if we slay this monstrosity, the cave-ins will cease? Nod. According to the miners, the beast was first sighted on the same day as the tremors began, its very presence sucking the mountain dry of its ether. I've decided Lamet gets an accent, I guess. We dwarves know these caves as well as we know our own bodies, trust me. That is true. There are multiple tanks. I suppose we best make short work of it before everything comes crashing down. Hey, where do you think you're going? My apologies. I took your ceaseless prattling as an invitation to proceed on my own. Think yourself clever, do you? You've uncommon confidence to think you can fell the beast without aid. Answer me this. Why is it you're so intent on claiming the bounty for your own? The bounty? Why indeed? Questioning head tilt. At any rate, unless you've a mind to stand around here until we all get crushed, we'd best be moving on, yes? Finally, something we can agree on. So I have a proposal. What say we band together until our battle here is won? The tremors grow stronger. No doubt a cave-in is imminent. Let us vanquish the enemy with our combined strength and quit this place before it becomes our tomb. Or perhaps jail, spelled G-A-O-L, because this could be some sort of equivalent to Titan, maybe. Until the battle is won, then. After that, I go my own way. It's probably a smaller scale threat than Titan. But it's making me think of Titan. Nod. Blank stares. Oh, relive Njolbert and Ardbert's initial adventure. In the coming battle, you will fight as Njolbert. Your aid is most welcome, Yelbert. Let us make short work of the beast and take our leave of this place while we still can. I love that it's playing Realm Reborn dungeon music for this. Okay, what do we got? Ronkin Fire 3. Okay. Ronkin Blizzard 3. Restores MP. Okay. Ronkin Thunder 3. Damage over time. Ronkin Flare. Okay, so we've got our AoE. We've got cast fire until we're out of MP. Cast Blizzard afterwards, just like a Black Mage. And we've got the DOT. Got it. Easy enough. Let's go. Ronkin Flare takes all my NP? Oh, so it does. They come! Come, Yelbert, we will draw our foe's attack. It would seem we're not the only ones stuck in here, eh? I have a bad feeling about this. Mine worm. That's just the sort of enemy name that you have to say. The leprous one is mine. Silva, you take its friend on the right. Consider it done. Have at you, fiends. All right, they're both tanks. Or at least they're both tanking. Also, this is really different from the other role quests where we've taken the role of one of these people. This is like we're doing a dungeon with them? What's this? It leads deeper within? We really should have asked for a map, not that it'd have been much to use after all these cave-ins. But yeah, this is really interesting, because it's like we're doing a dungeon with Ardbert and company, and we're like a 4-person team. Well, aren't you a big boy? I have not seen this model anywhere, I don't think. So wait, is Flare... Hold on. Potency of 460. Okay, Flare is the AoE and not like a nuke. You got it. Just checking. Also interesting to me, at least, how Yelbert's damage over time applies the standard electricity DOT like icon and doesn't have its own icon like Thunder 3 or whatever would. I mean, that makes sense. Ugh! Sylvan, Yelbert needs your help. Understood. Okay, she's got cover. She's paladin. So why does the group have 2 paladins? What's this about? I don't think this is the same model as the boss that you're thinking of. Still think you could have managed on your own, mage? Perhaps. It would have been more of a struggle than I expected. Oh, we've even got like a boss arena. This is very fun. Because like the other things are like fate bosses or whatever, but we've got this dungeon boss arena here. We've even got a cutscene for the boss fight that gets skipped. Like, there's not actually a cutscene there, but it looked like they skipped a cutscene. That's him. He's the one who drinks of the mind's ether. All right, let's put this oversized bull out to pasture. Silver, Limit, Yelbert, with me. My magics are yours for now. I will take the front. The battle is on. Bovian. Oh no. Wait, that swipe was in a different measurement unit. You don't have moms, you have something else. What was that? This is the coin counter, but not. What was that 2000 whatever swipe? Do that again. 2000 Mina swipe. They've got a different measurement unit on the first. Or at least they did. I love all this detail here. That's very cool. It summons others of its ilk. We should dispatch the small fry and quickly. Leave it to me. Ardbert off-tanking. Okay, so I don't...
Fovian.
True. I don't need all of my NP to cast Flare. This one looks like trouble. I can alternate between Flare and Blizzard. That should do it, Silva. I have a limit break. Where? Oh, I do. Should I use this now? Sure. Falling Star. It's probably just meant to be something you use when you get it. Slide casting. Another earthquake. This bodes ill. I rose up to something. Stand back, my friends. To my side, I'll heal your wounds. Ronkin Cure 3. Also, I didn't notice the chat message saying these are the same units as the one in a Niter, which is neat. Take cover behind the rocks. You don't want to bear the full brunt of it. I'm not looking forward to playing as Limit and having to heal targets. That are not part of the party. Because of how this is set up. Damn it, here he comes again! Get back! I sense unholy power. Get behind me, friends, quickly. Hey, Winged Shield, also known as Passage of Arms. Silva, are you alright? Damn it, we can't keep this up much longer. Strike with all your strength. I slid too early in the casting. Duty complete. That was really fun. I liked playing like a mini dungeon with Ardbert and company. I'm not looking forward to the Limit quest, but all of these have been really fun so far. I like the Sage quests weren't that bad either. So like maybe, well, I mean the Sage quests are from Endwalker, I guess, but maybe the healer role quests won't be as bad as I fear. We've done it! Now to find ourselves a way out. Uh-oh. That's bad. Tremors continue? But why? The fiend has been vanquished and its ether returned to the mountain. Wow, more gift subs, thank you! Thank you for the gift subs, Rika. And for stopping by. The Tremors will continue as the gift subs are announced. Maybe there should be less pause between these. I don't know how to edit that. I don't remember. It looks like Ardbert is looking at the subscriber notification as everything vibrates. Thank you. And congratulations to those who received a tier 1 sub. We were wrong. No, it was not the creature itself that was causing the quakes. Gasp? Gasp? Orb. Ah, yes, the crystal courses with nigh inconceivable power. A vast wellspring of ether accumulated over the ages. Yes, the beast was but a hungry creature drawn here by the stone, as was I. You had no interest in the bounty all along. The stone has been left unchecked for too long. The sheer volume of ether it houses now is so vast and overwhelming it threatens to bring the entire mountain down. For how many years have I searched for it, this precious relic that could afford me the power needed to save my friend? You mean to take the stone from this place? But then what would happen to the mountain? If the ether is not returned to the earth, it is but a matter of time until the mine collapses. The miners, those who live at the foot of the mountain, countless lives would be lost. There's no time. What can we do? Tainor, my friend. Damn it all! The tremors have stopped. Oh no. Yelbert. Tainor, pray forgive me. I promise you this. As long as I walk this earth, I shall never give up hope. Oh, jeez. Oh, you found Crystal. A warrior of light's elemental crystal of lightning, I guess? You know, I feel like Earth would have been thematically relevant. The stone was yours to do with as you pleased, and still you chose the fate of many over that of your friend. In return for your sacrifice, I would make you an offer. Come with us, and let us join you in your search for a means to save your comrade. The life of an adventurer isn't an easy one, but I dare say you strike me as the sort who just might enjoy it. So what say you? We'll travel the realm together and lend our strength to whatever unfortunate souls we encounter along the way. And who knows, before you know it, we might just stumble upon a way to rescue your Tainor. I would like that very much. Yelbert, recruited. Why are we panning over to Mystery Elf Lady? Oh, she smiled. We still don't know what the deal is with Mystery Elf. Taynor, forgive me. I may have failed you today, but mark my words. For as long as I walk this land, I will not abandon hope. I will find a way to bring you back to us. But today I find myself in the company of new companions, and for now I must lend them my strength, just as they lent theirs to me. It's true. Both of those things are true. Sucro, are you alright? Where's Nielbert? It really does. And I love it. Worry not, Phronesis is long gone. I launched a few arrows in its direction while it was distracted by Taynor's spell, and it just stole away. Anyhow, I'm just glad you're awake and on your feet again. Come now, let's hurry back to Mordsuk before the bastard has a change of heart and comes back for us. Nod. Introducing Final Fantasy XIV -1. The Tale of the Warriors of Darkness. It's funny because -1 is like -2, but not. I would really love a game that was just their entire story, honestly. That would be so good. I'd stream it. Could it be that Nielbert came back for me? Seems that way. I would have so many feelings. He really gave us a scare back there, clutching your head in pain with a deadly sin eater in plain sight. Let me guess, you had another one of your visions, didn't you? Nod. Explaining. We learn a lot about their story, and it really seems like every one of these little stories that we learn about is at a different point in their overall quest, too. Why, take me. So that's how Nielbert and Ardbert met up. Just goes to show that in times of crisis, even the bitterest of rivals can turn fast friends. Now let's see if I have this straight. Nielbert made it his life's mission to save Taynor here. Knowing that his own energies wouldn't suffice, he went in search of a relic that would afford him the etheric power needed to reach beyond this world. Thinking about it, actually, the one thing with like a Warrior of Darkness prequel would be that because the Warrior of Light and Darkness of Final Fantasy XIV is the one to like bring closure to a lot of their plot elements, there would be a lot of like plot points and plot threads that just suddenly, nope. Like, we would all know that it was going to happen, but there would be a lot of like stuff leading up to what happens in 100 years in the future, basically. And a lot of their plot points would go unresolved within such a prequel, which is very interesting as a storytelling conundrum. You could do that. You could make it a bit different. And deep in the mines that day he found it. Yet in the end he decided to sacrifice the stone in his own cause to save the lives of the countless innocents who called the mountain home. And so did he take his first step down the path of a hero, a warrior of light. So that's why he came back to this place, why he still summons the Hollows as he did so many years ago. Aye, there can be no doubting it. Even now that he's become a sin-eater, bereft of memory, reason, and any sense of his own actions, the ghastly shell of what was once Nielbert still haunts the wastelands, searching for a way to bring back his old friend. I only knew him as a child, and the whole idea of sin-eaters and warriors of light, it was all so new to me. Even as the pieces came together, I could not truly believe that Nielbert and this Phronesis were one and the same. But when our gazes first met standing out there in the waste, in an instant I knew it without question. This was my friend, a friend who had been searching for me all these years. At last I know what I must do. I must stop Phronesis that my dear friend may finally find peace. I would do the same, or together we can do this, but I would do the same. Thank you, my friends. In the battle I was able to push Phronesis' hollow away from Serig, if only for a short distance. With more training, I'm certain I can learn to close them up entirely. After all we've already seen from you, I've no reason to doubt you. If you're game, so are we. Nod. Finally, some cause for hope, eh? But still, we must exercise caution. The last time the boy worked his magic, our foe showed up faster than you can say, Phronesis. While this might be simple coincidence, the likelihood is high that the casting of the spell itself summoned the Sin Eater to us. You'd best avoid casting any similar incantations until we're prepared for the final confrontation. I want you to stay close for now, devote yourself to your studies, and hone your skills to whatever degree you can in the safety of the village. In the meantime, Sucro and I will redouble our training efforts as well. Nod. Should we succeed in finding a way to counteract the hollows, it will come down to our firepower versus our foes. We must be at full strength for the battle, lest we allow victory to slip between our fingers. Nod. I was just talking with Serig when I had a thought. If Njelbert's regrets truly live on inside Phronesis, might I not be able to reach him somehow? To convince him to leave us in peace? The words had barely left my mouth when he shot me a glare that pierced me like a dagger. Expect reason or mercy from a Sin Eater, and it'll be the death of you, he said. Though it may have the form of a man, its mind is that of a beast that lives only to feed on our flesh. It would seem I was a bit too idealistic. Clearly, I still have much to learn about this world. I don't know, it's kinda worked before for the other ones that we've seen. And on that note, I'm gonna be right back. Hello. Thank you for petting Calico even more. I wish there were a way I could make it so that if Calico were pet a certain number of times, a special event would occur, but I don't think that's possible, using the knowledge that I have of the various programs. Would you like to know a funny fact about the Calico petting redeem? So, the entire sound of this like the cursor appearing sound, the petting sound, and then the jingle is all a single file made in like Rhythmic Studio, the one music thing that I sort of know how to use. So all of that is technically, well, the jingle is more obviously made of musical instruments and whatnot, but like the cursor appearing sound and the petting sound are both actually, technically speaking, made from musical instrument noises, or just like music noises. I don't remember what the cursor is. It's probably like an 8-bit like sound of some kind, or like something like that. But the petting noise, the noise of Calico being pet, is derived from like a hip hop DJ record scratch sound effect, I think, basically. Not like a record scratch, but like a DJing record sound effect. You know the one. I am sometimes quite powerful, maybe. I say hip-hop also because I believe that was the section of Rhythmic that sound effect was there. The cursor appearing is like pitch perfect Wii UI. Yeah. I was going for just something similar to that. In fact, I could open Rhythmic Studio. It was either, I keep getting confused whether I used Studio or Ultimate because I own both, and one of them is like messier than the other one, and I hate it. Let me check. That sounds incredible if it could be made to work. Fighting Titan with bongos. I think it'd be easier to like fight Titan with the DK bongo controller GameCube than actual bongos, but I don't know. Is this the... Yes. This is in fact the file. Okay, so that's it at a different pitch. This is 8-bit lead 1 instrument 9. So that is an 8-bit sound. And then this... The Backseat Gamer Tax is a rarely used redeem. This is Hip Hop Scratch 13. So I was correct on what both of those were. Anyway, that's a fun fact about Calico, is that it makes a record scratch. It's based on a record scratch sound effect. I don't know if I was going specifically for like a Wii UI type of noise, but I was going for that sort of thing, I think. Like, I wanted a video game cursor appearing kind of sound effects, and that's what I ended up with. So I think like in the back of my mind, I was probably going for something of that nature. Also, I am still considering buying bongos, but I'm not entirely certain about it. I did just spend a significant amount of money making or commissioning a Sucro figurine, which is very important, so. And also, if I want to develop an RPG at some point, I have to spend a significant amount of money on plugins. I'm thinking about money. Anyway. Taynor's Training Day. Please do not spend any more money on me. You need to spend your money on yourself. Take care of yourself, please. Oh, we get espresso for this. Sarag is concerned about the progress of Taynor's training. That look in your eyes, yes, I can see that you've gained much strength since we last met. You'll be pleased to hear that Taynor has managed to take steady progress in his training as well. The boy believes he's regained much of the knowledge and skill he possessed before getting sucked into that pocket of time and space. An admirable feat considering that it was not long ago he could scarcely remember his own name. And yet, there's one aspect of his training that is yet to be addressed. Put simply, the boy lacks experience in battle. Nod. To work the magic necessary to seal up the hollows, I must maintain perfect focus and clarity of mind. If the battle with Phronesis is my first, I fear my concentration will be disrupted all too easily. And so I thought I'd take the boy out into the wilds, that he might acclimate himself to the battlefield and further hone his command of magic in the process. And yet, we must keep a wide berth of Amarang. Were we to encounter Phronesis before we're fully prepared, the results could be disastrous. Nod. And so I propose that we go on an excursion of sorts. Would you be willing to accompany us? I believe there's much the boy could learn from your example. Nod. Excellent. Then let us make for Lakeland. The beasts in the forest of the Lost Shepherd should provide a fair challenge for the lad. How do we know that Phronesis can't just show up there also? Some of the other Sin Eaters have just sort of appeared wherever they felt like. Well, I mean, they usually followed a pattern. Like, Renda Ray showed up in a bunch of different places, but it was because of specific reasons. But still. I don't know if we have reason to believe that Phronesis is going to exclusively stay in Amarang. I guess it's probably a safe bet, but still. Briefly landing for fun, I guess. Oh. You've equipped battle gear. You've got a bunch of keys for some reason on your belt there. Are you expecting treasure chests to open? This outfit was a gift from Sarek. Do you think it suits me? I guess so. Ah, there she is. Now shall we get down to... Huh? Is something the matter? How do you like my new clothes, Sucro? Not only are they stylish, why, I can just feel the power welling up from deep within me. They were a present from Sarek, isn't he the best? It was a simple investment, nothing more. We must seize every possible advantage if we hope to triumph over our foe. But enough idle chit-chat, we have work to do. Sucro, I would ask you to begin by setting an example for the boy, showing him precisely how you conduct yourself in battle. We can't very well just toss him to the Wolverines all on his own now, can we? So why don't you get out there and hunt one down for us? Taynor, watch carefully and let Sucro show you how it's done. Okay. Watch carefully as I... Wait. Oh, right. I was a paladin for like 1 second. Wait. I thought that was... Oh. Watch carefully as I summon Bahamut, and then, that's not really what you do, so... Well. Did you learn anything? I forget. I think... Was Nielbert like the Magus of Darkness or something like that? I think that's probably correct. Nice work, friend. If you have any further advice for the boy, pray share it with him. Oh, was that a lot of damage? I didn't actually see the number. Battle. Demi Bahamut uses Akmorn. The Rabid Wolverine takes 56,400 damage. Okay. Neat. That is not a small number. That is a big number. PSO2 moment. Nah, for PSO2 there would have been a couple extra digits on that one. And I would be like level 20. That was incredible. The sheer destructive power of your spells, the way you seamlessly weaved one incantation after the next. I mostly just pressed like one button. Everything. But tell me, what would you say is the most important thing a mage should keep in mind when doing battle with a fearsome foe? Don't stand in the fire. Just blast your foes with everything you've got, or casting your spells in proper sequence is the key. Learn your rotation, child. But of course. Thank you, Sucro. I will endeavor to put everything I've learned from you into practice. Well, here goes nothing. Here I go. Dies instantly. Ha! Love the music cue. Drat, where do I... No, that's not... Curses, just stay still so I can hit you already. Steady now, don't let the enemy fluster you, keep your focus. Right, focus, you're a feisty one, aren't you? Ah, that's smarts. I've seen enough of this. I wish the funny noises kept happening and then like Sarek flew. Okay, they do keep happening. Nice explosion sound effect also. You know, I'm starting to think that magical DPS might be the best role quests in Shadowbringers. Cause like Sarek's a good guy. We get to like help people a lot. We have the funny sound effects. I guess Taynor would have been using Powhammer. Next he'll be using Impact Bomb with the Fwee and the Thwack sound effect. Oh, I don't doubt. The feels will be hit in every healer. Wait, healer DPS. I wish that was real. Anyway. Grandia 2 would be a great crossover. I did like Grandia 2. Good video game. Forgive me, friend. I was beginning to fear for the boy's dignity, if not his life. I guess Sage is almost healer DPS. I've heard some healers here and there expressing that they feel useless because like they're not really needed and they're just green DPS or whatever. Oh dear, that didn't go nearly as well as I hoped. Don't get so down on yourself, lad. I shouldn't have jumped in the way I did. I dare say you were starting to get the hang of it there at the end. I thought it would be a simple enough task to follow Sucro's lead, but when that savage creature stared me down, I was too flustered to put what I learned into practice. Also, she has a completely different moveset. Indeed, it's not the strength of your magics that's the issue. You simply must learn to compose yourself. What did you think, Sucro? Are there any other words of wisdom you might offer me? You simply need more practice or believe in yourself and all will be fine. Sucro would say this. Believe in yourself. Thank you. I'm sure you're right. Can't allow my foe to break my concentration like this. Anyhow, let me try once more. This time will go better, I promise you. Nod. Here I go. Thank you for petting Calico. And hello and welcome. Oh no, the funny sounds are back. Yes, the boy will be fine. I must stay my hand. This is closer to the end than the middle. But I have really liked this questline so far. You did it! Yeah, I really like this questline. I liked the flashback with Nailbert that was basically... Or like the flashback duty with Nailbert that was more like running a mini dungeon with Ardbert and company than like a fight like the other like a fight like the other ones were. They did have a dungeon boss at the end. That was really cool. I like seeing Ardbert and company at different points in their journey and all that. I like Sareg being a weirdly nice guy compared to the other, like, role quest companions. Like, it struck me pretty quickly how Sareg is just, like, really sort of like a good person, kind and considerate, etc. And also, like, his adopted ultimate wizard son, as you put it. That's fun, too. And yeah, we were talking about how, like, that felt like a story beat from a Super Nintendo Final Fantasy. And, like, how there should be a prequel, like, of Ardbert and Company's Warrior of Darkness adventures and stuff. But I did bring up the interesting point of, the one, like, the main storytelling issue with a prequel focusing on the Warriors of Darkness and their adventures is that so many of their plot points and stuff get resolved, like, 100 years in the future, or get, like, closure 100 years in the future in Final Fantasy XIV, that as a game standing on its own, it would leave a lot of things unconcluded, which is an interesting dilemma. So I'm thinking about that a little bit. Anyway, I did it! The battle is won! You did it! Now that's how you wallop a Wolverine! Well done, lad. I'm proud I could be here for your first victory. And yeah, someone said earlier it'd probably be like an alternate universe or something. You're far too kind. I couldn't have done it without you and Sucro here to show me the way. You have my thanks. Nod. But don't let up now, boy. You must keep battling until all that you've learned becomes second nature. Now, are you ready? I mean, the thing is, like, this questline is an example. Like, Yelbert's quest to find Taynor, which is a driving force of his motivation, is never resolved, and we find Taynor instead and resolve it through this questline by dealing with, like, the Sin Eater. That's an example, and that sort of thing happens in every one of the Shadowbringers role quests. Something remains unresolved somewhat with everybody. So that's the sort of thing that I mean. The boy fights with awareness and composure. I do believe he's earned himself a respite, and some more worthy opponents next time around. That was rather more difficult than I expected, and yet, thanks to you and Sareg, I feel like I can hold my own on the battlefield now. Chocobo. I'd have to agree. The way you made short work of that last critter, I'd say it's time to find you a more worthy foe. Let us return to Mordsuk and plot our next course of action. Well, I have a poor memory, so I can't really answer what was unresolved for Brandon and Renda Ray, because I've already sort of basically forgotten. But like, the entire, like, theme, I guess, of these quests is that they're basically vengeful spirits with an unresolved something or other that's keeping them around, and then you basically fix that and, like, let them rest in peace. That's effectively what's happening in every one of the role quests so far. Brandon is still exiled and didn't save his princess. Yeah. That's also true. Renda Ray is probably the one who's most fixed her problems, I guess. But they all have the vibe of, like, vengeful, like I said, like, vengeful spirits with unresolved, there's a word that I'm looking for that is unresolved. Unresolved what? What do vengeful spirits not pass on because of? There's a word that is always used for this. Help. It's not duty, is it? It's not regrets. It's, unfinished business is probably the closest, yeah. That's what it is, I think. They're vengeful spirits with unfinished business. I think that's the phrase I was looking for. Thank you. I must say, that training session was most exhilarating. There's nothing quite like the feeling of vanquishing fearsome foes and gaining confidence with every thrilling victory. That's called experience points. You've proven the perfect mentor for the boy, Sucro. Hells, I dare say old Sarek here could learn a thing or two from you. You've taught him not only how to wield his spells in battle, but how to maintain his focus in the face of danger. With those fundamentals under his belt, it is just a matter of time and practice until he's ready to face Phronesis. Yeah, you probably could frame it with, like, a lot of tragic irony and stuff, too. It's just that, like... I worry also that if you provide a standalone game with all of these characters, and then they all sort of have, like, regrets, unfinished business, etc. at the end of it, and then they're like, to learn more, play 500,000 million hours of Final Fantasy XIV. The critically acclaimed MMORPG that includes Heavensward and in the future, Stormblood as part of the free trial. I feel like if you have a game and if a bunch of people played the game that hadn't played 14 and were like, I wish I could see what happens to all of these characters or see their problems get resolved. And then the game's like, play 5,000 hours of an MMORPG! I feel like that would be a little bit off-putting. That's something I've basically just thought about. Anyway. I promise you, my friends, I will not let you down. Thanks for stopping by. And for petting Calico. I will see you later. More like 1,000 hours? That depends, doesn't it? The free trial that ends exactly before when you get to the... It will, actually, when Stormblood's added to it. You could have, like, the soul dungeons, sorta, yeah. I promise you, my friends, I will not let you down. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'd best go and write down all I've learned today while it's fresh in my memory. Here I go! Such passion and determination. This must be the boy he always was before his time beyond the rift stole from him his memories and his spirit. He devotes himself to his training that he might help us fell Phronesis and bring his friend a measure of salvation. There's no telling what course the battle will take, but I suspect the boy will be forced to confront his past head-on. It will not be easy for him, and yet I believe it is a necessary step for him in order to forge himself a new future. For Taenor's sake, and for the sake of all those who call Amarang home, we must triumph in this battle. Not to mention for the sake of our own coin purses, eh? At any rate, I'll leave you to your training and return to my own. The final confrontation is close at hand, and we must be ready. Also, here's some espresso. I actually have 3 of this, for some reason. It's weird to drink espresso from a water skin, but sure. Oh, I didn't realize that Duo did that. That's funny. Anyway, since we're talking about the number of hours, / playtime. Total playtime, 73 days, 12 hours, 23 minutes. This is only for Sucro and not my old character, and there's a lot of this that is off stream, so... How many hours in 73 days? 1,752. So plus 12, that's 1,764 and 23 minutes is the total Sucro time, which I think has exceeded the amount of time spent on my old character by this point, which would make sense. So, a tearful reunion. I've been stepping away a lot, but I'm gonna BRB another time. Sorry. I'm sure it's not a problem, but still. Health reasons, etc., I guess. Hello. Fronice is wisdom or intelligence relevant to practical action in particular situations? I see. Interesting. Also, thank you for more petting Calico. I'm really glad everyone likes Calico. Something I need to do is double check when Calico first debuted. When Calico existed, or began to exist. I see Twitter's search function has become utterly... Oh wait, no. I mistyped my own username. I was going to say I see Twitter's search function is utterly useless, but not quite. February 19th is Calico's birthday, I suppose. That is not the first time she was on a stream, but that is when I posted her art to Twitter. Or X, I freaking guess. Thank you for petting Calico. I'll have to remember February 19th as Calico's official birthday. And, I don't know, figure out something to do for Calico's birthday, I guess, when that rolls around again. I've written that down in streamnotes.txt. Anyway. Hello. I'd also like to state that since it seems we're nearing the end of this, I feel like there's not enough, like, time to go in... Well, I say that, but there's technically, like, infinite time, depending on how irresponsible I choose to be. But I feel like the next stuff to go into in 14 is gonna, like, be more time consuming and maybe should be its own thing. So I'm wondering about maybe switching games when this questline is over. I will take opinions on this subject. I could also just take a break and rest. I don't know, but I think the healer role quest, like, this is in a weird middle ground where it took, like, long enough that I don't know if doing this and the healer one together that would be maybe too long. But also, it didn't take long enough to feel like I should just stop the stream after that. And, also, if we do all of this together, then if we did both of those together, then, like, the epilogues to this would be kind of, like, delayed for a while, and maybe that would be weird? I don't know. Well, look who's back, and looking more imposing than ever, I might add. Tsukro looks exactly the same, and she's wearing a cute cardigan. You'll be pleased to know that Taenor's command of his magics has advanced by leaps and bounds since you left. Says he's finally convinced he can hold his own against Phronesis. Truth be told, I worry about the boy. As devoted as he is to his training, I can't help but notice a sad, uneasy look in his eyes from time to time. He insists it's nothing, but of course I remain unconvinced. As a fellow mage, perhaps you could succeed in reaching out to him where I failed? He should be around here somewhere. Go and find him and see if you can't offer him a few words of support, won't you? Taenor probably reckons that a muscle-headed bounty hunter like me couldn't understand the worries of mages. Hells, he's probably right. Would you be so kind as to go and talk to the boy for me? He should be around here somewhere. I don't know why you're assuming this is a mage worry in particular. But I will talk to him. Oh, hello there, Tsukro. Is there something I can do for you? Serig was worried about me, you say? That is kind of him. I assure you, I'm completely fine. I believe that the sprout icon will go away once I get to Endwalker. I think. I owe so much to the both of you. You brought me back from beyond the rift, took me under your wing, trained me and comforted me to the point that my memories and my magic have both returned. I'm finally ready to face my old friend in battle, and it's all because of you. And yet, there's a fear growing inside me, a fear that threatens to consume me. In my studies, I've learned much about the Sin Eaters. I learned how those who fall to the most powerful Sin Eaters, like Phronesis, become Sin Eaters themselves, doomed to live out their days as mindless, unholy abominations. If I were to lose my focus in battle, and you or Serig suffered the same fate as Njelbert, the only three friends I've known in this world, if I lost you all, how could I ever live with myself again? This thought, it shakes me to my very core. If you falter, we will be there for you. Or worry not for us, think only of Nilbert. We will be there for you. You're right. I mustn't forget that I have 2 strong friends by my side to help me shoulder the burden. Thank you, friend. The task is a daunting one, but I will trust in myself, and in the strong and gentle friends who stand by my side. Smile, nod. Nothing would make me happier than to help Njelbert find peace, but that is not the only reason I fight this battle. I must repay you and Sarek for all you've given me. Not only did the 2 of you bring me back to this world, you've instilled me with a newfound sense of purpose. And yet, when the battle is done, you will leave this place. You will embark on new adventures with new companions. Worry not, I'll not hold you back or stand in your way. That is another reason I must fight this battle. I must prove to you, to all 3 of my friends, that I'm strong enough to get by on my own. Be strong, Taynor. You can do this! Sorry, perhaps I got a little carried away there. In any event, we should go and tell Sarek that I'm ready. Is it possible to get to Endwalker and not lose the Sprout? Like if you just beeline there from a new character? That's Luri. That's not someone. That's not Sarek. I asked Sarek what he intends to do after the battle is over, but he just scowled and told me to focus on the task at hand. Do you think he's feeling sad about us splitting up too? Don't tell him I said this, of course. He's right there. He probably heard it. You're finally back, I see. I was starting to get worried. I trust this means you're ready to do battle with Phronesis? I am. Let us put an end to this nightmare and set Njelbert and the people of this land free. That's the spirit. Alright, the plan is to lure Phronesis to us by the same method as last time. We will venture to the central hills of Amber, a safe distance away from the city, and Taynor will summon forth a hollow. It should only be a matter of time before our quarry arrives. I believe our chances are best if we can lure Phronesis to a wide open space, where we have complete freedom to maneuver. The hills of Amber should suffice. If you're ready, let us away at once. Nod. Okay. Wait, where is this? Oh. Have I ever gone through this part of the map before? I don't feel like I have. Wait, did we decide that it was a great place to fight the Sin Eater next to a different settlement? I mean, we're kinda close to it anyway. I couldn't be more proud of how much Taynor has grown since we first met. Why, he's like the son I know. Enough chit-chat, eh? We have a battle to fight. Simply adopt him. I'm ready. Let us begin. Shadowbringers is a game about people adopting children. Over there, it's him! Yes, I knew you would come. Well, I guess we won't be needing this anymore. Nope. Give it up, Nielbert. My spells are more than a match for your own. These are my friends, and I will not let you take them. Do you hear me, Nielbert? Your long nightmare and hours shall end this day. Defeat Phronesis. Your item level has been synced to 420. That's still a funny number, haha. Anyway. Hey. Leave the hollow to me and concentrate your attacks on our foe. Be wary, friends. He means to summon a hollow. Keep a wide berth, friend. Keep a wide berth, friend, lest you get drawn into the void. Oh, I don't have Astral Flow at this level. That's funny. I've done it! The hollow is sealed! Good work, boy. Now stand back and say your strength. Our foe's got more tricks up his sleeve, no doubt. Like that one. Oh, I do have Phoenix at this level. Look out, here comes another one. Leave it to me, friends. I will seal the hollows. Watch out, hurry. Hurry to Sarek's side or you'll bear the full brunt of his magic. I mistook who was saying that part. The bastard's trying to take us out in one fell swoop. Move away from me and quickly. I'm not an expert at Summoner, but I'm doing well enough. I've done it. The hollow is... Damn it, are you alright, boy? I'm doing fine, I know. I'm just not doing perfect. I don't need to do perfect. I'm just saying I don't know exactly what to do with Summoner in, like, the context of fight with mechanics too well. Forgive me, friends, my strength is waning. Looks like we're on our own until Tainer's strength returns. Stay clear of the hollows. I'm also having trouble reading at the same time as the fight. Ugh. Good gods, would you look at this one? Wait, perhaps we could use the hollows to our advantage. Aha. Funny. I didn't get it. I did get it, I think. Wicked White, the bastard's still going. Tainor, how do you fare? I'm fine. Leave the hollows to me. Oh. I mean, it isn't... Summoner... I don't know. I'm just not used to dealing with mechanics while also pressing these specific buttons. So there have been times when I've lost uptime, basically. I've also not been reading everything. I'm sorry, my friends, I can summon no more strength. The boy's given us all he can. It falls to us to end the fight. Cough hack dying. Ah. Yes, my friend, soon you will be at peace. Oh, they hurt when I'm next to them. Again? Does he mean to cut off our escape route? Maybe. Yay. I mean, of course mechanics take priority over damage, but... Anyway, here's Crystal. Somehow we're surprised. Forgive me, Tainor. Far and wide did I travel with my companions, all the while searching for a way, any way at all to bring you back to this world. And yet in the end it was all in vain. Though I treasured the adventures I had with Ardbert and the others, my choice that fateful day forever haunted me. What if I'd run off with the stone and used its powers to rescue you as I'd always intended? What adventures might we have shared? I sunk into the depths of despair and felt myself a wretch for doing so. For by what right do I pity myself when it was I who consigned you to a far more cruel and tragic a fate? I added an extra A in there somewhere. Whatever pain, whatever loss I know is nothing compared to what you suffered, what you still suffer. Abandoned by your only friend, cast adrift in a cold, dark void until the end of time. Yes, no doubt you are still out there beyond the rift, cursing my name to this very day. That's not true, Nyelbert. I'm right here. And yet, even if you despise me with every fiber of your being, even still, I would give anything to see you just one last time. You could curse me, revile me, rain fists and magics down upon me. It would all be worth it just for the chance to say, I'm sorry. It's time for emotions. Stop it, Yelbert, please! Please stop saying those things. Even after you had your mind, your heart, your very humanity ripped from you, still for all these years you kept searching for me. How could I ever hate my best friend? Don't you see, old friend? It was Sucro here who brought me back to this world, but it was you who guided her to me. Or guided her to me. You've suffered long enough, my friend. I can take care of myself now. You need worry about me no longer. So please rest peacefully. This might be my favorite of the Shadowbringers role quests so far. It's good. Smile. Call me crazy, but damned if the boy's words didn't actually get through to him. Oh no. That's entirely valid. It can be very difficult to keep attention on one thing. It's over, at last. You don't need to explain it to me. I know that the Njelbert we saw was just a memory, a reflection from the crystal. A what? Can you repeat that particular phrase for a moment? A reflection crystal, you say? How interesting that you should choose to say these words. Very interesting. I'm trying to find a specific thing. Hold on. There. Very interesting that you should choose to say that this was a reflection from the crystal. This is probably just coincidence, but it's funny to point it out. A reflection in crystal, you might say. That my friend truly passed years and years ago. And yet, even if those words will never reach Njelbert, simply saying them aloud gave me a measure of peace. I have no regrets today. I'm not sure it could be intended when this was 5.0 and that was the name of 5.3. That would be a lot of planning ahead, but I guess that's entirely possible. But we should be getting back to town before any more Sin Eaters take notice of us, yes? I'll say, after that battle I could use a rest, and I reckon Sucro here could as well. Shall we head back to Mordsuk? They probably did have it planned out to some degree. I misread that enemy's name as Phosphorus. I'll just teleport this time. It's entirely possible that they figured that out in advance. We did what we had to do. I have no regrets. Wait. This line is extremely familiar. I don't know if it's this game or a different game where this line, a line structured like this is very important at some point. My memory is not great, but this line stands out as like, this was definitely something. I don't remember exactly what it is. Who said this? I feel like this exact line was said somewhere. Yeah. Nugget Bridge. Well, if it isn't the woman of the hour, I'm happy to report that tales of our triumph are already spreading across town like wildfire. Word has it that the merchants are so grateful that they intend to sweeten the bounty with a generous personal reward. Oh no, you're gonna get the wiggly worms. They're gonna give you the wiggly worm. That you're supposed to eat, but it's a wiggly worm. My friends, I have no words to express my gratitude. Thanks to you, Njelbert has found peace, and I can finally close the book on this chapter of my past. Every day I thank the gods for having brought us together. The feeling's mutual, lad. To be honest, I wasn't sure what to expect when you popped out of that hole, but it's been a pleasure having you at our side. Nod. So tell me, now that you've made peace with your past, what do you plan to do with your future? Nod. You and Sucro trained me well, and I'm quite confident that I can hold my own on the battlefield. Perhaps I will travel the land and see if I might use my abilities to help those in need. If I didn't know better, I'd think those were the words of someone twice your age. If that's truly your intention, then I have something of a plan. First, I'll need Sucro here's permission. It's just a thought I had, but let's say we give the lion's share of the bounty to Tainor here. I reckon he needs it more than we do, and besides, we couldn't have won the battle without him. Gasp. But of course, or you owe me one. But of course. Smile and nod. No, not the tube men. I knew you'd feel the same. It's the least we can do to help the boy forge a path in the future for himself. My friends, I could never take advantage of your kindness like that. Think nothing of it. It's not easy for a boy your age to make his way in the world, and this is the least we can do. Think of it as a parting gift from your brother and sister in arms. Nod. Thank you, Serig. Thank you, Sucro. As long as I live, I will never forget your generosity. Nod. Finally, I have one last proposal for you if you're keen to hear it. There's this bounty hunter I know. He can hold his own with a bow, but he's always thought he could take on bigger marks if he had a skilled mage at his side. If you're looking for a partner, that is. Gasp. Serig, you could not possibly mean... Of course I'm saying it. So what'll it be? Yes, yes, 1,000 times yes. Nothing would make me happier. Why, nothing would make me happier. And I suppose that settles it. Welcome aboard, lad. I've got a feeling that this is only the beginning of a rewarding relationship. And on that note, I do believe my new partner and I are off to the Crystarium to find ourselves a new mark. If it's not too much to ask, why don't you join us there? I still owe you your share of the bounty, and I reckon it'll be a good place to say our proper farewells. Nod. Just adopt him. He's basically adopting him, just not completely. Not officially. God, the Wiggly Tube man would be a variant of a Cactuar, wouldn't it? Or Sabertender. That would be pretty incredible. That's how they are so evasive. They wiggle their way out of every attack. Over here. Wrong direction. The path ahead will not be an easy one, but there's one thing I know. Where I once feared the future, now I welcome it. Ah, Sucro, glad you could join us. Taynor and I arrived a short while ago ourselves. The boy's keen on starting his new life as a bounty hunter, to say the least. He's got no end of questions, that one. But there's only so much I can teach him. The rest he'll have to learn from experience. And so I intend to do what I can to show him the world and keep him safe. Nod. So don't worry about us. Between my bow and his magics, I reckon we'll be able to hold our own out there. That said, should we ever find ourselves on the trail of a particularly nasty foe, I hope you'd not be averse to lending us your strength once more. Yes, somehow I have a feeling it won't take another 100 years for our paths to cross again. Until then, friend, stay sheltered in the shade. My portion of the bounty is very small, but that's fine. Oh, you two just stay here. The others, like... Well, okay, Luderic is still talked to a bull. Granson sort of wandered off. I don't know where he is. Good to see you in one piece, Sucro. Also, achievement unlocked, Speaker for the Wise. Granson is probably still somewhere. I wasn't sure what to expect when I headed outside to investigate the commotion, but I sure as hells didn't expect to see you flying down that cliff. Wait, they have dialogue for 5.3. So we missed a little bit of dialogue, technically, by being this far in the main story, but if we can find Granson somewhere and also go talk to Luderic again, they should have different things to say. Sure as hells didn't expect to see you flying down that cliff. They say you were on your way to settling the score with your nemesis. Judging by your peaceful expression, I reckon you've done just that. Good for you, my friend, good for you. I've heard about the battle outside. I should have liked to join the fight, but Serig bade me hold the fort in the Crystarium. But the most important thing is that Ardbert now has the peace he deserves. On behalf of Njelbert, thank you for granting it to him. So, I don't know where Granson is. He's got to be somewhere. But I do know where Lurik is. Which is... well, near the exit of Yulmur, so... try right. Good. That's fair. Pachame, Moshimoa. Granson, I have another idea where he might be. He might be with the new Mo. Maybe. Who are you? Oh, you're a clan person? And they call people in the clan that? Okay, never mind. I dislike this. Anyway. He's just wandering around heroing in Lakeland somewhere, you think? Also? Well, we have various places we can try. I figured they wouldn't, because that's just that's specifically a thing on the first. It's sort of a joke that they immediately joked too much with, and the sort of joke that I wouldn't like anyways. Lurik should be over here, I think. Somewhere. There you are. I'm reliably informed that you've dealt with the imposter Ardbert. I never doubted that you'd do it, my friend. Wherever she is, Renda Ray will surely be pleased. By the way, how was I out there? Thought I did pretty well, even if I do say so myself. When the commotion broke out, like the others, I couldn't help but go see what was happening, and I'm glad I did. Would you believe that Reek brought me a whole new wardrobe with his winnings? He really did, the dear. But everything looks just so awfully nice that I can't bring myself to wear any of it outside. Oh wait, that's dialogue you had before. Olvara's dialogue is the same. Let's take a look at Lakeland first. See if we can find Granson around. Lena's around out here. We talked to her before. You know what would be really funny? If trying to find Granson, I accidentally found out that Reen and Gaia did exist in the world this whole time when we were just in the middle of nowhere for no reason. That'd be really funny. If I were Granson, where would I be? I mean, the most likely places for Granson to be are in the settlements, if he is indeed in Lakeland. Imagine if they implemented Reen and Gaia just existing in random places like I think Alpha does at some point. Actually, I don't know when that Alpha thing happens, now that I think about it. They've just always inexplicably got a table set up and they're eating coffee biscuits. Like, just like underwater or something. The Alpha thing is happening now. So I could, not on the first, mind you, but in the source I could theoretically run into Alpha. I guess. I don't see a Granson anywhere. He might just be like in the middle of nowhere arbitrarily. There's other forts and whatnot. The other place I would think to check, like I said, is with the new Mo. That would make sense. But I'll check around a little bit. I'll go check with the new Mo. Since I don't know Lakeland super well, I don't know where else I would check. So Alpha definitely can't show up on the first, I would assume. This is the wrong direction. Well, there's Seoul. You still have relevant dialogue. But Granson's not around here. That would be very funny. Especially since they've established that Gaia could theoretically learn how to travel between worlds. The map gradually fills up with lesbians. The map gradually fills up with lesbians sounds like a Terraria boss spawning message. Like, you feel a presence watching you, or the world gradually fills with lesbians. You know, the classics. I have Terraria on my mind constantly at the moment, which is also part of why I was thinking I'd want to switch to another game, is because I might play some more Calamity. If people are interested, anyway. If not, wouldn't have to. I'm just flying around at this point. But hey, yeah, that was the Magic DPS role quests. They were really cool. I liked those a lot. They might be my favorite of the role quests I've done from Shadowbringers so far. I got attacked by my throat in the middle of that sentence, as sometimes happens. Sure. You sound uncertain with the amount of U's that you've spelled. So, I guess next time on Final Fantasy XIV is... ... Well, it's time for Dunir Zone! So that'll be something. That will be, indeed, something. I will note again that I am biased against Nier. I'll try not to be too grumpy about the entire process. Theoretically, if I really wanted to, I am not obligated to cover every single piece of content in the game, but I would like to see the raids, I think. The gameplay could be interesting. Yeah, and this has been Final Fantasy XIV, but I'm still going to keep streaming. But I have to make a closing statement in order to have the video. But yeah. So yeah, this has been Final Fantasy XIV. That's about it. That's my closing statement. I will now press the stop recording button.